Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. Over 20 years ago, the synthesphere was hit by a severe case of micro-Korgification. Stylish looking mini-key instruments based on existing technology big enough to get you through a gig at your local craft beer spot and small enough to trigger traditional synthesists. Today we are going to talk about the Arturia MiniFreak. While manufacturers are currently putting a focus on either big fat flagship keyboards or toy-ish gadgetry, this 2022 hybrid synthesizer sticks to the tried and tested formula and shows us that the real paradigm shift has happened elsewhere.
At the first glance, MiniFreak is ticking all the boxes. The aforementioned mini keys with aftertouch, grace a slightly overdesigned steampunk chassis with plenty of rock-solid knobs which come in black, white and endless, and prison jumpsuit orange. These conventional synth controls are complemented by a multifunctional mod pitch strip duo and a row of touch buttons for operating the Arpeggiator and 64-step polyphonic sequencer. Speaking of polyphony, in contrast to its little sibling, the MicroFreak, the Mini is 6-voice polyphonic. Mind-bogglingly versatile digital oscillators offer raw tones ranging from synthesizer staples to more modern takes on the subject to post-modern sound design petri dishes and additional processing options for internal and external sources. Most of these algorithms were created by Eurorec legends Mutable instruments and noise engineering, and in spite of the oftentimes complex spectra, they are controlled using only 3 knobs. On close inspection, you might have discovered the almost comically small screen. It's the only source of visual feedback from the oscillators. It looks a bit as if you ordered an OP1 from Wish, and in case you're offended by the exploding frog animation, don't ask what else French people do to our amphibian friends. I like the analog SEM style filter quite a bit. In addition to the 2 LFOs and single ADSR, the cycling envelope allows for sophisticated LFO-like modulations. As we are talking about modulations, the Mod Matrix is powerful and easy to use. Select a source/modulation, press, tweak. You sunk my battleship. Many Arturia instruments require an ample collection of external FX to sound good, so the 3 internal FX engines are much appreciated. Basics like modulation, reverb, and delay sound great, and there are more specialized tools like multi-band compression. Keyboard noobs like me will carpe diem the hell out of Chord Mode and the dedicated chord oscillator, Chordception. I've always been a fan of Arturia sequencers, and although the one on the Mini doesn't disappoint, it's the Arpeggiator that really takes the cake. Randomized variations, probability-based and polyphonic modes, and ratchets are nice, and you can copy ARP patterns to the sequencer. Presets range from classic to modern classic to contemporary and future-proof. Mini feels solid and rugged, there are full-sized MIDI and audio connectors and plenty of menu diving opportunities. I was surprised to find out that the CV and gate out of the Micro had to go, and the market for synths in the $600 region is rather crowded. Thanks to Tom of Synth Anatomy for once again helping me out with an instrument from his collection.
Arturia basically took the concept of the microbrute, added real polyphony, a few extra features and put it in a slightly larger box. Can it keep up with the big kids?
You have already heard the freak in today's intro tune. Modern, beefy and most probably not to everyone's taste. Let's stick on brand in the first jam.
That's a massive bass. The other tones are great too, but not always easy to fit in a mix, especially when combined with the quirky sound of the drum brute impact. A few MIDI sync issues aside, the internal sequencer works flawlessly. Time to set the Arpeggiator to autopilot. Although the touch strips and buttons are certainly not ideal for a live performance on a dark stage, the Arpeggiator is super tweakable and I like the smoother timbres of the synth. The Mini is called Freak for a reason. I wanna know if we can unleash the madness in this experimental French house Subversion and certified heavy listening ass banger. In spite of the great sounding modern synth engine, improved feature set and well thought out UI, the MiniFreak is a tough sell. While its little sibling comes for the price of two Walkers and offers even more sound crafting possibilities, the Mini has to compete with Logs, Hydras, Modals, an army of Ulis Epigones and, last but not least, the virtually identical $100 Freak plugin. It is, however, the ideal instrument for contemporary hands-on sound design, especially if you aren't a keyboard player in the traditional sense of the word. But let's not fool ourselves. We all know that the MiniFreak is the last outpost on this side of sanity before you ruin yourself financially by finally getting a polybrute. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and leave a comment what other kind of gear you would like to see and hear on the show. Thanks to all my patrons for supporting the channel and welcome to the monthly Vocoder shoutouts. I had hoped for the big MiniFreak update that gives it the vocoder capabilities of the little MicroFreak to arrive in time, but was sadly disappointed. However, I found this beautiful instrument in the Viennese Museum of Classic Bad Gear. It's going through a TC Multi-FX unit, Tier 4. DJ Venn Diagram Thomas Diefenbach Filling up Tier 6. Again, thank you so much for supporting the channel. See you next month.